Hi, my name is KathyLaDonna, and this is Soul and Vibration. Today is Wednesday, June 4th, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 1 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So when I looked at the chart today for today's energy, something about today's energy felt bittersweet. And I feel bittersweet because we have a grand trine that is connected to the moon, along with a T-square that is connected to the moon. So with today's energy also adding up and reducing to number 1 vibration, the number 1 reflects some kind of new beginning. But it would feel as though there's a new beginning coming in, but then at the same time, we're being challenged in some way. So it will feel as if like this new opportunity came in, but I didn't get to like enjoy it yet. Like I'm getting the feeling of like, say today, someone moved into a new place or bought a new car, or, you know, some new opportunity came in, but for some reason they weren't able to kind of like surrender and enjoy the new opportunity because some other things are coming up that feel a little bit stressful. That's kind of taking their attention away from this new thing that's coming in, or a new thing that one would want to start. Because with the day adding up and reducing to the number 1, the number 1 is the I am. So there's focus on us as individuals. There's focus on the ego. There's focus on being action oriented. The number 1 energy could reflect some kind of a new beginning, whether it's an idea or it's an actual new beginning. But I feel like it's more of like a shift in perspective. It's like an aha moment. It's like some clear idea pertaining to a thing. And the day being the 4th, the number 4 energy brings our attention to stability, brings our attention to security. The number 4 energy helps us to recognize where our foundation is weak. And on a day like today, we could wake up and we feel tender. We feel tender about something. And the thing we feel tender about is where we want to bring our attention to. And with the energies in the day adding up and reducing to the number 1 vibration, I feel like this thing that we're tender about might have everything to do with us as individual, us in relations to others, whether it's other places, people, or things, but the attention is on us. And I feel like with the day being the 4th and the energies adding up to the number 1 vibration, there's something around feeling unstable, feeling unstable. And when I look at the moon is in Libra. The moon enters into Libra, and it is opposing, say, Saturn conjunct Neptune in Aries. Libra energy brings my attention to we. Aries brings my attention to I. So that brings me back to the energy of this opposition, me versus them, or me versus that, them or that, but there's that opposition, and that's where that whole T-square energy comes in. And the T-square energy today is between the moon in Libra, Jupiter in Gemini, also to Mercury conjunct the sun in Gemini, and Neptune conjunct Saturn in Aries. So when it comes to the T-square that we're dealing with today, it'll feel as if there's this, because the moon in Libra is nurtured by self, is nurtured by we. And I feel like with Saturn conjunct Neptune and Aries, we're being called to focus on I. So some things could come up today where it feels like it's like me versus them. And it's not even that we want to do the me versus them thing, is that we're nurtured at the idea of, say, being in relations or connecting to others. But I feel like with Saturn and Aries conjunct Neptune, we're already seeing how we need to step away from the shadow of the we and put ourselves out there, or put ourselves first in some way. And with the day being the 4th, the number 4 energy is the energy that deals with commitment. Of all the numbers, the number 4 is big on commitment. But for me, the number 4 is big on commitment because it fears the unknown. And because of the fear of the unknown, the number 4 will naturally gravitate towards whatever appeared to had worked at one time, or stick to whatever had appeared to work at one time, even if it's not working. This is where, a person is a part of the job, a part of the company, and they're hearing rumors that the company is closing down, but for whatever reason, they want to dismiss those rumors because it's like, who am I if I leave this company? It's like, I'm afraid to start over. So I feel like when it comes to today's energy, that's coming up for some of us, where it's like we're being called to go our own path. We're being called to be the lone wolf, separate from the pack, and then find the new pack that resonates with this new version of us. But we're having a hard time separating ourselves from the pack. We're having a hard time going out there on our own. The moon in Libra is creating a trine, a grand trine between Uranus and Taurus and Pluto in Aquarius. So with the grand trine energy, Uranus and Taurus is revolutionizing the material world, whether it's our money, whether it's the education system, medical system, the foods we eat, the things we value, all of that is changing. So the moon in Libra, positively speaking to that, is like we're seeing how as a team we can come together and and deal with those changes. We could come together and create something brand new. The moon, positively speaking to Pluto in Aquarius, it's like we're joining new groups or meeting new people or aligning ourselves with our tribe, with the people who are in aligned with our truth. And we're seeing how we could come together and do things. And I feel like the way how I would bring all the energies together, meaning we have the T square and then the grand trine. For me, it comes down to being authentic and true to oneself. It's just that simple. It's like if we're authentic and true to ourselves, show up in the connections in a way that's authentic and true to you, and don't worry about who will accept you and who will not. I feel like that is the way to get over the energy, today's energy, the feeling that is like this feeling of imposter syndrome. Is this fearful feeling of, well, like, what if this doesn't work out? What if they leave? What if I'm fired? What if it doesn't work out type of vibe? And it's like, if they leave, then they weren't the one for you. And if you truly believe that there is someone for you, then it's better that they leave sooner than later so that they could hurry up and get out of the way and make the space for the one who's supposed to be coming in. If this job or this career isn't for you and they fire you, then thank goodness, because they set you free so you could be on your way to get to wherever it is that you're meant to go. You know what I mean? So when it comes to today's energy, it's important to work on fear of like letting go. It's like work on becoming more detached, because when we're too attached to things, it's hard for us to discern when we're too attached. It is hard to discern when we are too attached. The spirit guidance for today is the Phoenix. And I love that the Phoenix came out today. With the energies in the day adding up, reducing to the one vibration, because I remember the last time the Phoenix came out, it came out in the reversal position, and it kind of reflected having a hard time moving on. With the Phoenix coming out in the upright position, it brings me to say, you get on the plane and there was a little bit of a delay, but everything is started and it's ready to take off. You're ready to take off and fly into the next timeline, fly into the next dimension, fly into your next best life. And with the Phoenix energy coming out in the upright position, it brings me to being ready for a new cycle. And the only thing that could get in your way when it comes to this new cycle is imposter syndrome, being afraid to show your true and authentic self. And for me, what I've learned to do over the years is to challenge myself to show up to connections in ways, to show up to connections in this way. In what way, you might ask? So I think of in the past where, say, with Libra energy, how Libra energy could be a people-pleasing energy, not wanting to rock the boat, not wanting to be disliked. And out of fear of not wanting to be disliked or rock the boat, I think of in the past how I would show up to connections and I will do the most. I will give the most. I will allow for others to expect way too much of me, only to later find myself feeling resentful and even burnt out. Resentful because, number one, they didn't earn all that I'm giving, so they took it for granted. And then I feel resentful because they're not appreciative of what it is that I'm giving. Where over time, I've learned to show up and not bear gifts, show up and not feeling like I have to compensate for something that I'm lacking by doing the most and over giving. Instead, I learned that I love to give. I love to give and I love to serve. So it's important for me to step into a career that allows me to give and serve in ways that fulfill me. So if that's you, you might need to look to step into a career that allows for you to give and serve in ways that fulfills you, that helps you to shine inside, that helps you to feel seen. But when it comes to, say, personal relationships and connections, because I feel like in situations where we're serving, the people that we're serving, they have come in agreement with the service because maybe they paid for it. Because I feel like one has to pay attention. There needs to be some kind of reciprocity, equal exchange. And in most cases, it's a person's payment. But there's some kind of exchange that happens. So now when it comes to our relationships and our connections, I feel like in those situations, we don't need to show up and needing to serve and give and, overcompensate, wanting to rescue. I feel like in those connections, we need to have, healthy connections with people who are where we are, meaning, say before the person would jump into the connection and connect with people who need fixing. So you look around and all your friends, it's like you're the strongest link of all your friends. And I feel like this is a sign. If a person looks around at all the people, all their closest friends, and they're the strongest link, to me, that could reflect like a trauma response. The person who makes friends with people who need fixing. Where the person who becomes clear on their people-pleasing ways and instead step into a career that allows for them to shine when it comes to their service, and instead start befriending people who don't need them for anything, which will probably be challenging in the beginning because it's going to set off some triggers. Because for some of us people pleasers, we might not feel comfortable when it comes to building connections with people who don't need us, because there's fear of abandonment, where if they need you, then there's a chance that they might not leave you type of energy. So when we become clear, and start to learn how to say these ways of us, these ways that we have, wanting to serve, wanting to help, realize there's nothing wrong with wanting to serve, wanting to help, but there's a place for it, and apply it in the place where it's needed. When it comes to making connections and interacting with people on a day-to-day basis, you don't lead with that energy. So instead, this is where, I've learned to show up not feeling the need to like bear gifts. And bear gifts for me is showing up and feeling the need to serve and fix. Instead, I imagine if I was to meet these people for the first time today, and I'm going to have to be around them every day for the rest of my life, how can I show up today that is a way that I don't mind showing up this way every single day for the rest of my life that I'm going to be around them? Where say if I show up today and I go above and beyond, and then I do it tomorrow, and now they're expecting it. So now for the rest of my life that I'm around them, I'm going to have to show up and continue being that way. Or if I change, they're going to see me as like being inconsistent. So I don't want to be seen that way. So now I got to show up and serve forever. Where I've learned, no, instead, how can I show up today that is true to how I want to show up every single day for the rest of my life, when meeting certain people. And I feel like when it comes to today's energy, and I look at the different aspects that are being made in the chart, is like challenge yourself to see how you can show up in a way that is true and authentic to you as you're stepping into new energies and making new connections. How can you show up in a way that is true and authentic to you, in a way that you won't feel like ghosting or won't feel resentful because you're doing the most and it's not appreciated. When it comes to the tarot, I love these two energies together. It feels like such a good beginning. Let's pause for a bit. I am proud of the services that I offer and excited to tell you about them. If it would be your first time booking with me, then I recommend the natal chart and numerology awareness coaching session. For a while, that was the only service I offered, along with the 30 minutes tarot reading, which is still available if you're interested. I noticed the pattern. At the end of the natal chart and numerology coaching sessions, some of you would ask me for a follow-up service options for additional clarity and guidance to assist you with whatever you're going through at the moment. I kept saying, I'll look into it. I don't know why it took me so long. Finally, I have created that option along with the service option to book a solar return chart reading for those of you who are strategic and like to plan ahead. Everything you need to know is within the description box below. Let's get back into the video. Because the Phoenix reflects this death and rebirth. It's like a fresh start. And then the Queen of Swords energy, for me, it's like this clear mind. It's like I'm convicted, I'm sure that this is what I want. This is what I want to experience next. It's like one making up their mind, and there's nothing that can change that. It's like someone making up their mind and things are super clear. When it comes to today's energy, there's an opportunity to start something new, an opportunity to make up our mind and commit. The challenges that will come up around today is, say, issues around where our foundation is weak. And I feel like for a lot of us, the issues around the foundation might have to do with people pleasing and how we show up when it comes to connections, how we allow for others to have unrealistic expectations of us only to find ourselves later feeling used, abused, and just neglected. And when it comes to, say, the new connections or the new opportunities coming in with today's energy, it's like if we don't show up giving what we can't afford to have to give, if we don't show up giving what we can't afford to give, then, we don't have to worry about someone taking something away from us because we only gave what we were able to afford to give. So whatever we gave, we're not necessarily looking for them to give anything back because we gave what we wanted to. And it feels like when it comes to today's energy, like I didn't mention, if I did, there's something around communication. There's something around communication there's something around communication in the sense that there's a lot of over processing about what it is that we are going to say. It's like, it feels like there's a part of us that just want to speak and say certain things, but there's a part of us that wants to be careful when it comes to what it is that we're saying. And I feel like that goes back again to like the whole people pleasing vibe and fear of being misunderstood. And, I've learned over the years, like when people are committed and dedicated to misunderstanding you because it benefits them for whatever reason, there is nothing you could do to get them to understand you. So don't waste your time and your energy trying. And also too, when it comes to your communication, you have no control over what people hear. You only have control over your intent and what comes out of your mouth. It was a pleasure sharing this message with you. I would love to hear from you, and you could do so by dropping me a red heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.